Morning, beautiful. Lovely to see you. It is a beautiful day. And I'm just going, can you see there's a little bird flitting there? Oh yeah, there you go. It's a New Zealand Pilwaka Waka fantail. You can hear its little tweets. They zip around the place really quickly. You can still hear it, but you can't see it. And, well, while it's singing, let's enjoy the morning. Good morning, Linda. We have a blue sky. Bernadette, good morning. Young lady, that's hilarious. Hi, Christina. Hi, Heather. Blue sky today. There are clouds, just not where we can see them. There's the sun hiding conveniently behind a tree. And you can hear the birds. You can still hear the fantail, can't see it. But there is the view, and let me show you what flowers we have. It's the time of year when there aren't many flowers. But these Japanese anemones, you know, you can tell there was a storm, they're battered. But they're just flowering like crazy, so, you know. Morning, Alicia! Great to see you, lovely to be able to share this with you. Let's get some detail here, look at that. The beauty of those anthers and the green centre, and there's just nothing missing. And we have more of them over here, you know. This is something that when you plant it, you've got to know you're always going to have it. Desislava, good morning. Good morning, Julian. So, you know, you don't just put it anywhere. And sometimes you have to just pull whole chunks of it out. But there is what's flowering in the garden, and there's lots of it. Always get these fresh flowers. Stop eventually. Morning, Joy. Here we go. Focus. There you go. Just love it. It's so perfect. All right, turning the camera around. You know, the funny thing was, when I reviewed what we talked about yesterday, I really felt like I didn't talk about half of it. And it was kind of the most important part, because we're talking about getting outside of our own boxes. We've been doing that for a while, and, you know, and just trying to imagine what it's like when you really can't. Okay, but I'm pretty sure that's what we did yesterday, because yesterday was this amazingness of stuff that happened, and it's like, that was another lifetime. Lindy, good morning. Laurie, yay, we're all together. Joseph, good morning, beautiful. It's great to see you all. So I want to talk more about, even if you don't know that you desire, and I was in that yesterday again. It's like, I don't like what I want, what I've got here. I know that I don't like who I'm being and how I'm being about this particular thing. But I was really struggling to think, well, how do I want it to be? I was really mired in the thinking and feeling and doing and everything of who I was being. So, I mean, eventually I did get a piece of paper, and I used the thing that I've learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And because no, I didn't say it to you. I said it in the Heartfield yesterday. And I've changed so much particularly in the last fortnight. It's been massive. That all of the potentials, the things that I am tuning into, the things that I am becoming the person who lives this and breathes this and does it and feels it and everything. So I have to redraw them. I have to re-thing them. I have to figure out which box I want to get into, you know, out of the new box that I'm in, because I really have changed boxes. And I didn't know what it was. So I got the piece of paper, and the thing that I've learned to do from Joe is to assign a letter, or usually with me it's 2 letters actually. 1 letter never seems to be enough, but you assign a letter, and you put that on a piece of paper with some wiggly lines around it to represent. Remember we were talking about the clear intention and the elevated emotion? That's the signal. The clear intention says to the universe, the divine observer, this is what I want. Observe this. And the elevated emotion says, is literally what draws what you're thinking about and feeling about to you. That's how it works. So the wiggly lines around the thing are that. Represent that. Oh, Schrodinger's camels. I love that. So yesterday I did that, and I chose 2 characters, a letter and a number, to represent the thing that I was wanting to create for myself. And then I thought, well, I I really couldn't think how it felt. But I could actually, sometimes the feelings are easier than the doing, but I can't remember what I did first. So yesterday's a blur, it's gone. But I wrote down some things. I think, okay, if it is like this, I know I'm going to feel grateful. And I know I'm going to feel free because I'm going to have let go of a whole lot of stuff that I've been kind of handling and managing and feeling responsible for. I'm going to have let go of all of that. And I know I'm going to feel really satisfied and really proud of what's happened. And I wrote some things down, and it all felt really discombobulated and not very relatable, but I thought was just using logic, right, to get out of my own box, because I didn't know how it was going to feel. In love with life, really in love with life and this whole thing. And then I started to think, okay, so that's how I'm going to feel, and what am I going to do? What are the behaviours that are going to be different when I'm living as this person? Stick with me, there's a point to this. And so I made some things. If this has happened, then we're going to be doing this, and we're going to be doing... Actually, if you just drag yourself out of the impossibility of it for long enough, which I had to do, got the piece of paper, said, okay, if it's changed, then I will be able to do this. And this is what's going to be happening in my life. And it won't be like that anymore. It'll be like this instead. And I nailed those things down. And I didn't even put them, I usually put a nice little square of paper, put that on the table because I look at it before I meditate to be tuning into that thing. And I didn't even do that because it was like, I'll tidy this up later. I don't know if I really like it. But anyway, when I looked at it this morning, I was like, I was really on track with that. And so I went into the field and I tuned into that potential, those feelings, those behaviours. Morning, Linda! And it was really powerful. It was like, oh my God, I got this right. And I felt things and experienced things that were different from ever before. It's like, this is cool, okay. Now the point being, that if you can get past your own impossibility, enough to just logically think, how will I feel when this has happened, and what will I be doing when it has happened? You are quite willfully and consciously looking into the other box. And it's going to feel wooden and strange, and it's not going to feel believable or anything. And it didn't to me yesterday. I'll just wait for that to stop. That's just normal, okay? So looking out of your box is going to feel weird, and it's not going to fit. It's not going to resonate. When it's really that hard, it doesn't feel right. But I looked at it this morning and thought, this makes quite good sense. And I went in and I did my thing. So, getting back to the point, once you have some idea that there must be something on the other side of that brick wall that you've been banging your head against for decades, and by the way, I've been banging my head against this brick wall for decades, right? And I actually realised just as I went into the meditation process, oh my God, I'm running this program that I absorbed from my dear mother. And she had a traumatic experience and I picked it up from her. I have not recognised that for about 40 years. Completely unconscious, really powerful. I see how it's played out in my life. It's like, oh my God. Right, so that's what I'm getting rid of today. Woohoo! So unconscious, couldn't see it for looking. Really couldn't see it for looking for weeks. Looking at this thing, trying to figure it out. Oh, that's what it was. But you see, that's a perfect example of me for weeks saying there has to be something on the other side of this brick wall that I can't see through. I can't find the gate. I don't have the key. But I know now, because I've done this so much, that there is a gate and there is a key and it's inside me. And I can have confidence in that even when I'm banging my head covered in brick dust. That is the truth. And I've just lived it again. And that's the thing. The more we do this, the more confidence we gain in our own process. But the first time, it's bloody hard to trust that there really is a gate there. And you do have the key in your pocket. You just don't know which pocket it's in. You might not even know you're wearing clothes with pockets in them. But this is what I'm trying to say. So, one of the things that you can do when you've managed to get your thinking and feeling a little bit outside of the box, like I said, thinking logically, what would I be feeling if this happened? And logically, what would I be doing if it happened? Once you have managed to get your head around that, Tobias, it's lovely to see you. And it is a head thing. This is really a thinking thing because your feelings are not going to line up with it sometimes, and mine didn't. Then, once you have that, and even before you really connect with it, you can start thinking to yourself, again, thinking, conscious, willful choice. But there's a balancing act here. Okay, if I know, because I've been able to see this, I've been able to perceive it, I've been able to nail it down to these feelings and these these activities, I'm thinking about how I'm going to feel and what I'm going to do, thinking and feeling and acting, right? That's your state of being. I'm really starting to just get to know a new state of being, a new state of consciousness. We talked about that yesterday, moving from one state to the other. Morning, Misty! Great to see you, honey! Right, okay. If I can walk through my life knowing that everything that my brain tells me about how impossible this is and how it could never happen isn't true, can I just pretend that I have some confidence in that truth? Can I just pretend? Can I just say, okay, if I believe this is true, if I make a conscious choice not to feel, I don't feel excited about it. When I say I believe, I don't mean, I really know this. I mean, there's enough evidence in other people's lives, and actually in mine, but I can't quite see it right now. There's enough evidence in what I'm hearing other people say and watching other people do that I'm willing to say there's a law in action here, and I'm going to follow the formula. I'm going to do what the process tells me to do, and I'm going to believe that if I keep doing that, I can have confidence in it that it's going to work. Because it does. It does. We cannot say how long it's going to take or how it's going to show up, but there's absolutely a law about what I'm telling you. It works. It works. So if you actually insist to yourself that you're going to trust that law, because it is a law and there's science, and the science is being explained now, we really don't have any excuse, except that we're really comfortable being who we've been, really used to that, not used to understanding that this is how the world, the universe, our lives actually work. But if you make a really powerful choice in yourself, this doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel familiar, I can't see any evidence, but I'm just going to say, okay, if this is true, can I somehow, in a small way, visualize totally, hear the sounds, taste the taste, smell the smells, feel the senses on your skin? Can I, in some small way, begin to embody that confidence, that insistence that there is a law, and that it's a law and it works for me too? And if I know that, if I just know that, if I say, I don't care that I don't have any tangible evidence, I'm going to just accept that it's science because it's been proved over and over and over again. If I say, we all believe in gravity, because if you fall off something, you hit the ground and it hurts. Well, you drop something and it hits the ground. We know that because it's kind of an action. It's a law, right? This too is a law. Clear intention absolutely draws that to you. And we're doing it all our lives. We're just so used to obsessing about bad things and the worst possible scenario, because that's what has kept us in survival and helped us survive, but it doesn't help you create, that we don't realise that's the law that's working, that we are having very clear intentions and very elevated emotions about the worst possible scenario, and so it keeps arriving. So if that's the law that you've been using your entire life to manifest what you have, it doesn't change because you want to manifest something that you like. It's just you got to get used to doing it. And the very first step for some of us is to just headology ourselves and say, okay, if this is a law and I've been using it unconsciously and without understanding it my entire life, to hell with it. It doesn't hurt me to have a different expectation or to say it's a law. I'm going to learn to pump this machine consciously and it's going to feel weird. It's like learning to play an instrument. Nesreen, beautiful to see you. It doesn't feel easy to start with. Okay, I'm learning a new skill. I'm learning to manage my energy and my state of being differently. And it's going to feel weird and hard. But if I have confidence that I have been using this law my entire life and I didn't know it, and now I do know it, I'm starting to learn about it, I'm starting even to practice it. I keep listening to this person blithering on about thinking and feeling and behaving like who I want to be before I have any reason outside of me to do that. And I keep listening because there's something in it that resonates for me. Well, maybe I'm resonating with it, and it also feels really strange, and it's like, really? Can I trust this? Well, what have I got to lose if I try it out, if I have an experiment, if I do an experiment with destiny? And you really do have to be determined, Misty. Oh my God, I totally get that. And it's such a dance. But I made this decision, and some people can really pinpoint the day. They can say, I decided, I knew this is for me. I can't tell you. But it's like I make this decision over and over and over again because I look at the things in my life and I think, and my old thoughts start coming up. Oh, when's it? No, this is a law. It's a law, and I know it works because I've seen it. What's hilarious to me, truly, I'm not currently laughing, it's totally amazing to me that I've already manifested 2 significant healings in my body. I've seen crazy shit happen, and I still get scared about the things I've still got to heal and the stuff that hasn't happened. It's like, what is wrong with you? I understand, I understand. It's my old programs. I delete them one at a time. So you always come back to the choice of who you're going to be. And sometimes who you're going to be is just saying, okay, I've been working a law unconsciously my entire life. Now I'm going to start working it unconsciously. I know it's going to be weird, and I'm just making a decision that I'm going to keep trying and exploring, and I'm going to treat this like an experiment. I'm going to be a scientist in my life. I'm going to do some research. And I remember that I can't say how long it's going to take or how it's going to happen, whatever it is that I desire. But if I start to get clearer about who I am when that's happening, and I start to change, I wanted to stop suffering. You didn't even know what was on the other side of that, but I've had enough. No more. And then, the work starts because now you've actually got to stop suffering. Just like, really? How hard is that? Actually very hard if it's, wired into your body and your brain. Totally get it. You have to decide. And then little by little, you start to change how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. And if the only thing you can change is to say, okay, let's say that I'm going to agree for myself just today, forget about tomorrow, just today, that it's true that how I think and how I feel and what I do creates my life. And I'm not even going to try and change how I think and what I feel and what I'm doing because that's too hard. I'm just going to try to think to myself, okay, if I believe that, if I accept that as a law, standing, sitting, whatever, lying here right now, I accept that as a truth. How do I breathe differently? And that's a really profound question to ask because you might find that you think, oh my God, if that's the truth, I can relax. Or, Mary, good morning. Or if I look in the mirror and I remember this is true and I'm a scientist in my life now, I'm doing an experiment. How do I look myself in the eye? How do I put my clothes on? How do I make that, my first drink in the morning? It's really subtle things. But to start behaving in advance. Yeah, just today. Forget about tomorrow. Tomorrow's another lifetime, trust me. Forget about anything big. Just in a small but very conscious way, choosing to be the person that knows this is true and that this shit works. That might be all you can do. But decide one small way that's different from how you would normally be. That's going to mean, okay, I believe this. So instead of walking through my house all slouched down and feeling sad and scared because the world's going to hell in a handbasket, I'm going to walk through my house like I own it. Yeah, just that. Really small things, but notice that's a physical thing. You don't have to feel like it. You just have to decide who you are. What's the set of your shoulders? How fast you walk? Are you looking up? Are you looking down? Are you looking around? You just say, if I am the person that believes this is a law and I can live it consciously and make it work for me, I'm going to move like that. Mona Lisa, good morning. Good night, honey. So that's really what I wanted to do. It's these very small doorways into ourselves that when you go through them, you discover that you have unleashed a dragon inside yourself, power, because you can change. These are profound changes when you make a choice like this and you think, okay, how does this play out in my life? And it comes from choosing to believe that there is a law and you can use it because you've been using it your entire life. You just don't know how it works, or you didn't. Now you do, and you're embarking on an adventure. It's like leaving the Shire and going on a big adventure, One little step every day will take you exactly where you need to go, mister. You are so right. And what happens is when you look back on those little steps, you realise they were massive. We think, oh, it's just a small thing. I just changed one thought. You changed a thought. And you've been thinking that thought for 30 years. It's massive when you change that 30-year thought and say, I'm going to think something else now. And, of course, the battle begins. But that's okay. If you understand that's the process, and your brain's going to do what it's used to doing, but you're choosing to do something else. And every time you make the choice, it's great. And every time you notice that you don't make the choice, that's also great because you're staying aware. Those one little steps are just huge. Every day, moment by moment. Berna, I've just got time to say hi. It's great to see you, darling. I'm signing off. Big love. I will see you tomorrow with bells on. Love you so. Bye-bye.